Okay, so we're back in TunerPro again. J3's been pulled out of the car, back on the laptop doing Fast and Furious shit. Alright, what's up YouTube? Back in for another episode today of working on the EL. Last episode we sort of got the cam installed and had it running, but not running off the key without some assistance. Here's my ghetto idle speed raising device, so we'll just nip that out. So what we're looking at doing today is solving that, and what we're going to be doing that with is a J3 chip. I'm going to attempt at doing somewhat of a bass tune myself. Disclaimer, I'm not a tuner. I don't profess to be a tuner or anything like that. I just know a little bit about what's required and that sort of thing, but yeah, I'm amateur at best, we'll put it that way. So basically I'm going to make some adjustments on the J3 chip using TunerPro. We'll make some adjustments, we'll chuck the chip in the car, see what happens. It is going to be a lot of trial and error, bear with me. No doubt I'm going to describe some things in the video that probably don't make sense to anybody. This was me back in the day when I first started trying to figure this software out. So hopefully I get the terminology right, hopefully it makes sense, hopefully I don't make a dick of myself, and hopefully we can get this thing to run. Okay, so we're on the interwebs and we're on the TunerPro website. So I've lost the fucking mouse, here we are. So TunerPro, you've got two options. You can go for the standard TunerPro, or you can go for TunerPro RT, which I think is like a later version or something, I'm not sure. There's one thing I did notice between the two though, is that the tables are reversed in terms of the rows or something like that. So it's been a few years since I've actually jumped on TunerPro, so I'm not sure exactly, but I've gone with the TunerPro RT, so just a download from memory, and this is going back a long time ago. It was pretty much free software, but it was like a donation based type thing. So accept that one. Next, install. Sorry, I had a laptop with TunerPro on it. I had all my tuning files for my EL, my EF Turbo, my dad's EF XR6, my sister's EL XR6, and basically everything's gone. So we've got to start again from scratch. And then we'll just go and open this. Alright, so it gives you the option to register, or you can just let it count down to 0 and then hit continue. There we go, and that is basically a TunerPro software right there. So at the moment it doesn't have any bin selected and it doesn't have any XDF selected. So these are the files that you got to download off the T.I Performance website, and you basically got to match it to your car. So whatever model you've got and configuration that you've got, there's a bin file and there's a definition file that goes together with it. So you bring those two files into TunerPro, and then you'll get all your parameters and all your settings and everything that you can adjust in this left little window here. So we'll go and get the files that we need, and yeah, we'll jump back on TunerPro. Alright, so we're on the T.I Performance website. Fun fact, that's actually my car. That's my EF Fairmont Turbo in the background there. Thanks to Jason for sharing it around on the website. It's actually pretty cool jumping on the website, or even just the little flyers that come out in the orders. It actually has that photo on there. Thanks again for that, Jason. Appreciate that, man. So yeah, so on the T.I Performance website, you've got these little tabs on the top right side. What you want to go to is library, and then down to tuning files. So this will bring up all your different models and configurations. So it's based off either 6s or a V8s, auto trans, manual trans, and then you've got a definition and a binary file that goes with it. So pretty much just going to go down until I find the EL binaries and definitions. So this is what we're up to here. So I've got a 6-cylinder, it's an auto, there's your definition and there's your binary. From memory there was somewhere around here as well where you had more definitions. Oh, here we go, yeah, more binaries and definitions available down here. Because obviously you've got EL XR6, EL Falcons, you've got your Fairmont Ghias. So yeah, you've got some different options here as well. So I'll go through and find the ones that I need, or the best matching option that I need, and then yeah, we'll go bring these into TunerPro and go from there. Okay, so in this index of EL, right at the bottom you've got a README file. README file brings up all of the catch codes on the ECU, and then that'll sort of link your model and your engine and trans configuration, which is quite handy. 6DJC, this one here, is probably the one that I'm going to go with. So if you go back, 6DJC is right there. Click on that, that'll download that binary file. So we'll just go back and we will select the definition to go with it. So we'll go down to EL. Okay, so we'll click on that README file again. It's got a bit more info what the definitions actually are. Okay, so HWMC2, this is the one that would be matching the 6DJC code that I've got. The binary file that I just downloaded for, so I'll go and find that one. So HWMC2, we'll just go back. HWMC2 is this one here. I'll just click on that, and yeah, you can see both of those have been downloaded now. Okay, so we'll go back into TunerPro now. So go up to here, go File, Open Bin. Just go into Downloads because that's where I just downloaded it to, and then we'll select the bin that we've just downloaded, the 6DJC. So that bin's imported now. XDF, we will select an XDF, which is your definition file to go with your binary file, and that's the one that we just downloaded. So we'll open that. So now it pops up with your parameters on the left hand side window, and that basically gives you all your settings that you can make some adjustments on if need be. Yeah, so as you can see, there's quite a few things you can play around with here. A lot of them I have not ever touched before. Mainly the ones that I would normally go with, normally the ones that I would play around with would be the spark tables. So that's your ignition advance. You do have your VE table. I've actually got a fuel tables up the top there. Hopefully this is focusing properly. But yeah, so you've got quite a few things that you can change. You've also got some trans shift adjustments that you can play around with as well. So this is the J3 chip programmer. Don't mind the rainbow cable. I managed to somehow break the old cable that comes with it, so I just went down to JCar, and this is the only cable that they had, so I just made this up, crimped little connectors on there, and yeah, good to go. So connects up via USB cable. Once you connect it up, it should sort of power up. It'll do its own sort of installing new hardware thing, and then yeah, basically from there, you've got the connector there that plugs into the connector on the back of the chip, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so I've got my spare J3 chip plugged into the programmer. I've just opened TunerPro. I'm just going to click this initialize emulation hardware. I've heard the beep, so now we know that the hardware is good to go. What I want to do initially is to just get this thing started, so I'm going to play around with the VE table. and I'm probably just going to make some adjustments around these idle sort of areas of the tune. It's really hard to guess where you need to make the adjustments without at least a vacuum gauge and an AFR gauge, or air fuel ratio gauge. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say that sort of around, I'm not sure, I'd say around here sort of area, this sort of area in here. We'll make some adjustments there. I just want to get it to idle and hold without me having to hold the throttle open. So we'll see if making some adjustments here will help it. There is other things you can do, such as playing around with the spark advance around these sort of values as well. But for the time being, I think what I'll do, we'll just go with the fuel side of things. And just a heads up, so the top row over here, these are your RPMs, and the left row is your engine load, which would be based in manifold vacuum. Which is a little bit weird because I think on TunerPro RT the 30 is actually wide open throttle. Generally 30 would be full vacuum basically, so I think in TunerPro, the other version, these are swapped, so your 4.75 will be down where your full throttle would be, and 30.5 would be up around where your full manifold vacuum would be when you're off the throttle. So from memory at least, I'm just looking at these values, and generally the higher the number, the more fuel's going in. So yeah, at the top there where it's got lower numbers compared to the bottom here where it's got the higher numbers, that would sort of make sense. But yeah, at the moment I'm just going to do a bulk change on all of these values. What I usually do is just do a multiply and then by 0.9 just to basically give you 90% of that number, or if you wanted to increase it, I'd maybe go 1.1 and then you'd increase it by whatever amount sort of thing. So like I was saying, I'll go there, we'll multiply that by 0.9 and you'll see these values change. So they've just dropped a small amount there, so essentially what that would be is about 10% less than what it just had before. So what we can do as well, just to see what these changes actually resulted in, is you can do a cool thing, which is a compare. So you can compare different tunes. So we'll save bin as, we'll just call this a trial tune. Go save. What we can do then is compare. So we'll load a compare bin. We'll go back to our factory, well, we'll go back to our base 6DJC tune. So once that's loaded, okay, what you can do there is compare the data between your current tune and the original tune. You've got this little icon on the side that will tell you the absolute difference, so the actual numbers that it's changed by, and you also got the percentage, which is quite cool. So I've left that on percentage, and I'll just click this, and then there you go. It will show you the difference percentage wise between the two. So right now it's saying that 6DJC, the original tune, has about 9 to 10% more in terms of the value that it currently had in the VE table versus what I've got now. So I've made about a 10% change there, which probably isn't going to mean that much at all in terms of how this is actually going to run, but it's a starting point. So yes, what we'll do there, save that. Then we've got the J3 plugged in. Go initialize emulation hardware. It should beep. Yep, so that's all good. And then what we can do is just go upload current bin to emulator. And what it will do is send this binary with that definition as a tune onto the chip. So if we click that, this will be uploading down here. If it goes green, all good. If it goes red, no good. So that's a success, and what you can do is a verify as well, just to make sure that everything has gone smoothly. So that'll be verifying. If it's green, then we're all good. Perfect. And yeah, we'll go chuck it in the car and see what happens. It's a little bit windy today, so hopefully you guys can hear me. So what we've got right now, we've got the J3 chip that I've just grabbed the tune onto. So basically right now I'm just going to go plug the J3 chip into the ECU. We'll turn the key and see what happens. Bear in mind the engine has not been started today, so it is going to be a cold start. I do have a little packer under the throttle body lever to get the idle up, so I'm going to go and take that off now. I'll plug this J3 chip in, we'll turn the key and see what happens. How good is this going to be when I can open the bonnet without an umbrella holding it up? Look at that, beautiful. Okay, so here's my ghetto idle speed raising device. So we'll just nip that out. So yeah, that should drop it back to whatever idle it was originally doing, which is probably pretty close to 650-ish, I'd say. Yeah, so we'll see what happens when we turn the key. So that's actually not too bad. That's a cold start. It is idling a little bit lower than what it was with the packer in there. Packer was basically keeping it at 1 grand. You can hear it putting a bit, so it is running rich. You can definitely smell the fuel, so there's a lot more fuel I can pull out of this. At the moment we've gone with about 10%. Alright, I'm getting impatient, so I'm going to go and drive this thing, but before we do I'm just going to make some adjustments again around here. We'll pull out another 4%, maybe 4%. I'm just going to basically trim this entire section here a little bit. What we got there? Yeah, I'll get a little bit more. Okay, so we'll try that. Idle speed, I think we'll bump that up just a tad more. Idle speed drive, make that 850. Seems to be reasonably good in neutral, so I'll keep that. We'll go try that and see if I can drive it. Okay, so no idea whether that's going to be enough of a change to get this drivable, but we'll see. It started a lot cleaner, so it's a good start. So it is idling a little bit higher now, sort of closer to maybe 900 when it is a little bit up and down a bit. So usually when you reset the computer it tends to play up a little bit until it starts learning a bit more, and then it seems to stabilize itself a bit better. So just let this idle for a bit. Stabilize a bit in idle, finally got it to stabilize a bit and drive as well. So you can turn the steering wheel, it sort of dips a little bit but it comes back up. So see if I can get out of the driveway now. Maybe. Okay, so this thing's running way too rich, it's popping and coughing and all sorts. Sort of going alright at the moment, but it's, yeah, that needs a lot of work. Until I get an air fuel ratio gauge with the wideband setup and vacuum gauge as well to go with it, so at least then I know what I'm actually looking at as opposed to just guessing everything right now. Managed to get it to idle, managed to get it to drive, but still a long way off being anywhere near streetable right now. So we'll wait till those things come in, and then I'll get those installed and hopefully have another crack at getting the bass tune sorted. Yeah, so it's not a complete fail, it's not a success either, but you know, would have been nice to actually get this out on the road for a proper drive, but yeah, at least it idles, so I'm happy with that. So I'll end the video on this for now. We'll definitely pick up from where we left off on this, so yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Fucking bloody hell, what a punt. Alright, sure.